This is Made for More Living with Johnny Jennings, powered by eXp Realty. Online at madeformoreliving.com.
Matt, I absolutely love coffee. There's probably fewer things that I drink more or crave more than a warm cup of coffee. I'll drink it on a hot day. I'll drink it on a cold day. Coffee black.
Now, here's my question. How late will you drink coffee? What's your
There's no cutoff point? There's no cutoff.
So you'll have coffee at like 9 o'clock at night before bed?
Yeah, if I wanted coffee, yeah.
And it's always caffeinated, never decaf?
I don't mind. I honestly can't tell the difference.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. And I can sleep. I sleep like a baby. But I absolutely love coffee. And kind of funny, though, that you don't like coffee.
No, I've tried it. I just don't like the taste. I hear that it's good for you. I've heard both sides, though. I've heard that it's good for you, but I also have heard that it's bad for your bones.
Well, I don't know about that.
And I just don't like it. I just don't like the flavor. It's so nasty tasting to me. But I'm the same way with alcohol. I don't drink alcohol because I just don't like the taste. And my wife, she loves some good wine, and I've tried some different tastings, and I just can't get into it.
Well, on the show today,
God has kept me pure.
God has kept you pure. Oh my gosh, that's all it is.
No drinking, no vices,
no coffee. That's the gateway to heaven.
I was supposed to be a priest, but I decided to get into radio
and have 3 kids. Yep. All right, and so on the show today we have Luke Noland with Fourscore Coffee, Bloom Coffee, and The House Divided. So, Luke, well, thank you for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
So you and I, you were actually one of the first business owners I met when I moved to Roseville.
Really?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, so Valerie and I, we traveled all 50 states trying to figure out where we wanted to live.
I love that story, by the way.
Thank you. And so we ended up in Roseville. And we moved here. We didn't know anybody. We didn't know how to get to the grocery store, the gas station, and we're selling real estate. And it was suggested to me to start a vlog, start videoing and interviewing local businesses. And Valerie and I, you were right down the street from where we lived, and we loved Fourscore. We'd go there on dates. We'd go there to work. And I was like, well, why don't we try Fourscore? And I felt like I was talking to a celebrity when you said yes when we interviewed you. And then we've just kind of stayed in touch throughout the years. Absolutely love who you are as a human being and the coffee shop. But the show isn't necessarily about what I think. It's more about what you've brought to the table and what you've brought to the community over the years. So would you mind just sharing briefly like your background in coffee and kind of how Fourscore was born?
Well, I think first I just want to hit off one thing you said, which is I think what made me love coffee shops and why I stayed working in coffee shops is meeting people like you guys, because you become like the gas station clerk where back in the day, we all had to go in and pay cash, and you get to see everybody and you get to see a different side of everybody, because like I'm sitting here on this podcast and I'm in podcast mode and I have my button-up shirt on. Yep. But when I'm going to the gas station, I'm just making my way through my day, and I'm just trying to get to the podcast. I'm trying to get to work. I'm trying to get to school. Mm-hmm. And that's where I put on kind of the facade of who I want to be to the people that I work with every day or interact with every day. But when you see people at the gas station, at the coffee shop, at the grocery store, if you've ever run into someone at the grocery store that from a different circle, they're like in beast mode. I gotta get my list. I got to get through this and get on with my day.
Some of the girls are unrecognizable,
like an animal,
because their face isn't on.
Yeah, they're just like, I got to get my stuff, And I see this, in people. But there's also a vulnerability that like people want to talk about what's going on with their day and sometimes prepare for what they're doing next. I'm on the way to an oncology appointment.
Oh wow!
I'm on the way to see my dad for the first time. I mean, these are real conversations I've had with people, And so I think that's why when I got a job at Starbucks in 2007 as a 20-year-old who just needed a job, it was just to pay the bills. Yeah. My parents had moved to Texas. I was running out of money. I was just living on my savings, first apartment with a good friend, and I just needed a job. And I walked into a Starbucks in shorts and a T-shirt, happened to be talking to the right person, and they said, come back tomorrow for an interview. And I put my button-up shirt on the next day, combed my hair, went in, did an interview, and barely got the job because I told them I wouldn't work on Sundays. and they really wanted people to work on the weekends. And I said, I'll work open to close Monday through Saturday, but I want to go to church on Sunday. And if you ever have an emergency, I'd be happy to work on a Sunday, but I don't want to be scheduled.
Yeah.
And so she said, well, I can't hire you. And
Really?
interview went on, and she said, okay, hey, I really like you, but like, don't tell people that you can't work on Sunday, because I tell everyone I won't hire them unless they work on Sunday.
She said, go apply at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're at the wrong place. So
Was this locally? Was this in
this is at
Sacramento
Wood
area?
Creek and Pleasant Grove by Wood
Okay.
Creek High School in
Is this
Roseville.
Starbucks?
At Starbucks.
Okay.
Yeah. Fast forward a year, 2008 crash hits, and every person coming in with a resume had a college degree. I didn't have a
Wow.
college degree.
So you've been working there for about a year now.
Working there a year, starting supervisor training, ended up becoming a supervisor, loved my time at Starbucks. But I realized, a college degree was not protection from being jobless, because
Yeah.
all these people were coming in saying, I really need a job. They couldn't get a job in the field they'd gotten a degree in because, our economy was in free fall. So I stayed there. I loved customer service. I loved talking to people. I homeschooled most of my life, so I spent a lot of time just with my family. So talking to hundreds of people a day who I didn't know was really intriguing to me. And
That's
that
cool.
moved me to the next coffee shop, and eventually ownership of my own shop in 2015.
So it's 2015 when you opened Fourscore?
2015, yeah. So in February, we will hit our 10-year anniversary.
So
This is
how
pretty
did-
amazing.
How did that happen? You're a kid in shorts and you're working at Starbucks. You have no savings. You're living in an apartment with somebody. How do you come to owning your own coffee shop?
I think that what I've learned the most is that if you just stay in one spot and you have grit and determination and you keep putting down roots, that the nutrients will come to you, to use the root analogy.
Yeah.
And so, if you keep on pulling yourself up and moving yourself to a place where you have no roots, you can't grow. And so what kept happening to me is I was faithful at Starbucks. I was there for 3 years. I didn't want to leave Starbucks. I asked to be transferred closer to my new home because I was driving past 7 stores on the way to my store. So I kept asking my manager, hey, could I transfer to Fair Oaks closer to where I live now? And she would not do it because she was losing staff like crazy. She was making some mistakes. And so she didn't want to lose me. So I just quit, and which was a long story. But basically, I had a customer come to me and say, I'm opening an Italian restaurant in downtown Sacramento. I'm Italian. My uncle's flying in from Italy to do the tile, like Italian mosaic, and I want a real Italian espresso bar in this restaurant. And so I want you to be the barista because I think you're the best barista at this Starbucks. And I was like very honored to go help him open this place from scratch. So wrote the menu, wrote the recipes, was there on day one, training people, developing people alongside of him. He was developing me. I didn't see that at the time, but I see it now. And I loved being at the ground floor of a restaurant, and that taught me a lot. When I opened my own place, I saw a lot of mistakes he made, bringing in family members for free and cutting hours of people who were paid staff, things like that.
Yeah.
That I said, okay, I'm never going to do that, And he was an amazing guy, and I loved working for him. But there were also things that I saw where I said, I don't think that's the way to do it. And so I only worked there for 6 months, and the guy who was our coffee vendor stole me from there to go open another coffee shop in Loomis. So he was coming in, training us. He was our vendor. He was a provider of services to us. He saw something in me, and he said, you're underappreciated here. And he pulled me aside and told me that. And so I was very faithful to stay and to work there, but my hours were getting cut immediately. I had left a very stable job at Starbucks to come to this place.
Yeah.
And my hours were getting cut and given to a 15-year-old family member who wasn't getting paid and was complaining to me every day that she wasn't getting paid.
Oh, man.
So left that place, went to Loomis, opened a store there, helped that get off the ground. And at that time I heard about Bloom. And Bloom was like the first specialty coffee shop outside of Sacramento that people were talking about. And Bloom offered me the manager position, the head GM management position. So I established that coffee shop in Loomis, 8 months there, and then left to go to Bloom, where I was for 3 years before opening my own store. And once again, putting down the roots, 3 years at Bloom, developing friendship with a customer. And that customer was my friend, Jesse Mariute. And he said, let's go start our own shop. And that's what we did.
Story.
You met Jesse at Bloom?
Met him at Bloom. He did not drink coffee. His first shot of espresso he ever had was in our own shop when we opened it.
Really?
And he hated it.
Oh,
Which
gosh.
was awesome.
That's great.
His face, I'll never forget his face when he took that first sip. But he just came into Bloom and sat there and drank white goji blossom tea and did his work on his computer. And he had a shiny watch and a fast car. And I thought, man, this guy's really slick. He must know a lot about business. And he had done businesses and failed and had a lot of lessons, that he brought to our business that I never could have started without him.
Yeah, no. For Jesse, I know just barely, right, compared to you, but he's a solid guy. Actually hanging out with him later tonight. Gonna go hang out with him.
So am I.
Oh, you're gonna be there?
Yeah, I told him to invite you.
Oh, well, thank you. Thanks for the invite, Luke.
Yeah.
Can I say something real quick?
I thought I was cool. I texted him. I said, hey, I'm finally cool enough to get an invite. Now I know Luke invited me.
Yeah.
Johnny, let me see your watch.
What do you mean?
Your watch. Show it to me.
My Apple Watch?
Apple Watch,
And
yeah.
have you noticed his watch? Show Johnny your watch. Look at that.
Casio.
Like it's an old school 1980s Casio
Okay, guys,
watch.
but here,
Walker.
everybody thinks this is vintage. I got it on Amazon for like $8.
Oh, okay.
And that's what everybody should do. It's
you
very
go.
effective.
Yeah, it tells time.
Although you know what's funny?
Well,
I
you can't
lost it, and I found it this morning on my way here, and I thought I was an hour late because I had lost it before the time change, and since time change was
like
like a week ago, I was like, "What? It's already 10 o'clock. The podcast is starting."
But is it Bluetooth?
No.
Oh my
Can't
gosh.
get texts.
No.
Can't make calls.
I know.
Right.
Johnny's plugged in, man. He's on the
Doesn't have your
toilet answering
calendar on it.
emails.
Yeah. You never know. If you're getting a phone call or a text, you never know where I am.
You never know.
But I
know.
think you're a trendsetter. I think people are going to start wearing those old school Casio watches.
It's kind of a thing that comes with the barista territory is that they're like hipster and
Aren't hipsters getting old though?
my wife jokes that I'm an actual hipster because she's like, you actually are dirty, you're actually not cool, you're actually are doing things that nobody else is doing, and the hipsters that we all see on the news they're trying to be
right.
hipsters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't
I
try.
just am accidentally screwing up. So
Whatever you're doing well.
all right, thanks.
Mike, they say there are two guarantees in life: death and taxes.
Yes, that's very true.
But they're forgetting one. There's the guarantee from Johnny Jennings and the Tom Daves team at Made for More Realty. They'll give you at least 3 guaranteed cash offers on your home in as-is condition. Like they did for Sabrina. She wanted a cash offer on her home, so they brought her a dream offer. She accepted it and was even able to stay in the home after closing so she could make a smooth move to her next house, which they helped her buy.
Yeah, and there is something special about using Johnny Jennings and the Tom Daves team at Made for More Realty because they have an entire team to make your home buying process as easy and simple and stress-free as it can be. And if you choose to go with the cash offers, you don't even got to do all the showings and have strangers walking through your house, none of it. Plus, you get on average a 3% higher purchase price, and they will sell your home 27% faster than other realtors. So, you expect more? Get more with Johnny Jennings and the Tom Daves team at Made for More Realty. Just Google Made for More Realty today and get more for your home. License number 1982171.